Last year, on the 25th of May 2018, the course of Irish history was changed forever. Young people decided that Ireland needed to come into the 21st century. The Eighth Amendment was repealed and the right for choice was won for Irish women. What you're about to hear is a series of interviews I conducted in the run-up to last year's referendum with Irish creatives and visionaries who were raising awareness for the Repeal the Eight movement. These people gave up their time and effort for one thing: to use creativity as a peaceful means to incite political change. I decided that these up-and-coming creatives should have a platform to display their achievements and efforts. I also felt a duty to record the positive grassroots movement of the Repeal campaign in the lead up to one of Ireland's most pivotal referendums. You might have been aware of the huge success of the Repeal jumpers in the run-up to last year's referendum. Voters could now raise awareness in their fashion choices. The huge success of these jumpers saw smaller designers making designs to promote the Repeal campaign. Chris Took is a Dublin-based fashion designer who specialises in skateboarding streetwear. The Repeal campaign saw substantial support from the Dublin skateboarding community. I wanted to hear Chris Took's endeavours in promoting the Repeal movement with design, so I interviewed him 3 weeks before the vote. Thanks for coming, Chris. Can you tell me a bit about the t-shirt project you're working on?
Well, I've been interested in streetwear for a long time, and I guess with this whole Repeal thing, it just really set off, like a bang in my mind or something, such an explosion of innovation, all these ideas. I was really just influenced by all the other people around me, all the creatives doing their thing. Obviously, there's, a huge Repeal t-shirt that you see. Half the people on the street are wearing them and stuff. And I just wanted to, and I contributed a bit to that. I drew up a few of the early designs, was involved in the printing process a bit. But I wanted to get more of my own kind of personal thing, something, a bit more individual to me. So I'm doing like a more smaller side project now, my own t-shirts, more abstract prints, a bit more high fashion, a bit more streetwear, taking from some of the greats and stuff. So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it and happy to be contributing to the cause.
So, Chris, tell us a bit about how you got involved with the Dublin fashion scene.
Well, from a young age, I've always been myself, and that was kind of fostered in. I'd be well enough known at this stage within a lot of the skate scenes in Dublin, especially around the Terranure at Mines area. I'd be well enough known, hit a lot of those spots over my youth. And this whole energy we're seeing, this kind of brotherhood, collective individualism kind of thing we see within the Repeal movement, I've been having that my whole life with skateboarding. I've always been very much myself and surrounded by people who are themselves, and we add to each other and we take from each other. And the Repeal has just given us a new thing to fix ourselves for. This whole, this beautiful thing we have going on with ourselves, beautiful selves. Now we have something to all look forward to and march together. So yeah, skateboarding. I got in through skateboarding, looking good, looking okay. We're in a new era here in Ireland. A lot of people, Ireland is becoming more European, and I love to see it because for years, you've had this culture of young creatives, thinkers, idea makers, big thinkers, pushers, button pushers, boundary pushers. They've all been over Europe, and Ireland maybe didn't have the reputation for that up until certain years, and but now I really think we're up there with the best of them in terms of fashion and skateboarding and Repeal. And the other thing I think people don't really realize about skateboarders is there is a prejudice there that you wouldn't really understand if you're not a part of the community yourself. So it'd be very interesting. I mean, you look at a group of skateboarders, what do you think? Do you think these are wasters? These are waste men? These are, pot stoners or something? The fact of the matter is that is a group of creative, artistic individuals, selfless people, donating a lot of their free time to the pursuit of a skill and the pursuit of, just a greater style in society. I mean, society needs people like skateboarders. They're not, every person in a group of skateboarders does their own thing. There's graffiti, there's rappers, there's penny boarders, there's all kinds of, everyone, it's all individuals, beatboxers, dancers, different kind of MCs, longboards, grind experts, people who do more ground-based kind of manual tricks. It's all, you can't really put a skateboarder into the same boat. That's the one thing I'd say about the community.
That's great, man. It's very tight to see such a nice community in Dublin raising awareness for Repeal the 8th. So, finally, Took, 3 weeks' time, May 25th, the vote is happening. Are you excited?
I'm buzzing. Honestly, I am buzzing to get in there. You know, it'll be a new experience for me. I'm going through the whole registration process and all that at the moment, but I can't wait to just get in there, get voting, and
I know it's like those people I know, first time to vote. You know, it's great to see that. You know, it's a great time for young people in Dublin.
it's exciting. I hope we win.
Oh yeah, my name's Brian Lenihan. Yeah, I'm DJ Kedarang. I'm part of this loose group of creatives for Repeal. You know, artists, entrepreneurs, musicians, that sort of thing. People who are sort of just at this sort of creative peak of Dublin. People who are both make art and want to see a 21st century Ireland. Want women to have abortions in Ireland.
Brian Lenihan, also known as DJ Kedarang, is a Dublin techno artist who was involved with the Repeal campaign. Along with producing music, DJ Kedarang was involved in organising social events for young people with the goal of raising awareness for the Repeal campaign. Sesh for Repeal and Cans for Repeal were successful techno events that promised all profits being donated to the Repeal movement, as well as showcasing young Irish talent. I sat down with him a month before the referendum to talk about his efforts in raising awareness.
Yeah, so we're part of sort of like almost like a modernization effort of like Dublin and Ireland. You know, Dublin being kind of like the heart, the cultural and creative center of Ireland, and sort of like where the energy of the Repeal movement is most fervent, most spiritual, energetic, that sort of thing. And we're sort of like for any sort of for any modernization effort, it's not just it happens twofold. It's not just the politics, it's the art, it's the creativity. That's why activists on the foot, activists door to door. That stuff is obviously important, necessary for any movement, but you can never have a successful political movement unless the creatives at the core, the people making the art, making the music, entrepreneurs, innovators, disruptors. These are the sort of people who need to bring Ireland to the 21st century. And that's sort of what the idea of Creatives for Repeal is, a group of creative people, these sorts of people who will essentially win the Repeal movement for this country. And that's why it couldn't work in the 20th century, because this is 21st. I can be making the music I was making in the 20th century. It has to be 21st century. It's modern, and that's why it didn't. The Repeal stuff didn't work in the 20th century. And that's why it has to work now.
So, can you tell me a bit about the popular events that you've organised to raise awareness for the Repeal movement?
Yeah. So I used to be part of Ketmosh. Yeah, it's like a techno collective sort of thing. And so we used to do these events, these sort of like house parties throughout Dublin. So these almost random, week's notice. We do like a house party here and there. And we've sort of with the Repeal thing, we sort of adapted and molded that. So it's now. See, the thing is, when you're in an activist movement, every breath, everything you do, every action you take needs to be contributing towards this one thing. So we did Cans for Repeal. And then later on, we did the Sesh for Repeal, which really sort of these ways, sort of you could blow off steam. You could meet other people, meet other creatives, and talk to the people who are involved in the Repeal movement, all the while listening to some nice techno influenced by the Repeal movement. And that was sort of the philosophy for Sesh for Repeal, and to a lesser extent, Cans for Repeal too.
Yeah, that sounds very sick, man. And I have one of your beats here that I want to share with the listeners, so they kind of get a taste of what they can expect at these gatherings.
Yeah, no, I premiered this one at the last Cans for Repeal. Actually, yeah, just start. It's not quite finished yet. It's sort of it needs to be tightened up a little bit. But I just thought it was sort of it was right for the time, and I think it could be made into something that's like very fitting of this movement.
Oh, sick. So here's the beat. This is Church Death by DJ Kedarang.
It's not a repetitive song, it's a beautiful love song. I think one of the most beautiful love songs ever to be written in the English language, and Luke is going to sing it for you.
Repeal campaign saw many different creatives expressing high emotion in different mediums. A popular and distinctly modern form of art used to raise awareness for the Repeal campaign was spoken word poetry. Anthony Short is an aspiring spoken word artist from inner city Dublin who could be seen giving a voice to the disaffected during one of the many Repeal campaigns, poetry slams. With an emotive and hardened style, Anthony conjures together metaphors and similes to raise awareness for the Repeal campaign. So, Anthony, what attracted you to give your voice to the Repeal campaign? When you look at the current state of things in this country, women do not have their full rights. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of get what... So, I kind of asked myself, you know, when this whole thing started, what can I give to the Irish woman? You know, what can I take from myself to help others? So, obviously, I gave, you know, what to me is the most important thing. I gave my voice to them because they were voiceless in the current state of things. They do not have their full rights. So, that's not being a full person yet, you know? So, you know, like, I got 5 sisters and a girlfriend, you know? And, when I think of all those women in my life, each and every one of them, with current legislation, if they wanted to terminate a pregnancy, you know, and they'd have to go on a flight to Manchester on their own, not even their own country, you know, in this hard moment already, you know. So that kind of struck it with me, really, and that's why I'm involved with the Repeal campaign. So I believe you got one of your pieces here that you want to read out. Yeah, pal. This is one of my new poems here that I'm gonna be showcasing at Workman's Repeal Poetry Slam this Friday. Dublin, 2018. Cups of tea, reality TV, warm 7-Up in a broken cup. The bold boys sitting on the wall, the young child kicking his first ball. Amber leaf, concrete, Nike feet, what's the E? A woman lies on the floor in Dublin airport, 5 minutes asleep. He's only a junkie, don't mind him. The tiger's gone, I can't find him. It's Leo now, smoking hash at the Red Cow. 2 lads chatting about the world. He says to his mate, where's your board? Manchester. City are united, a country divided. 8 times blinded, 8 pregnancy scares, but you're not ready for teddy bears. She's going broke, but daddy doesn't care. She's selling her wares on Moore Street. She's going mad, what's the E? What's the E? Come out, ye voters, and show them who's who. Bring your mates and your granny too. It's time to take back this fair city. The old guard thrown down the liffey. A decision like this could drive a man insane. It starts with a spark and ends with a flame. Dublin, 2018. Thank you, Anthony. Thanks for coming on. That was very powerful. No problem, man. Thanks for having me on.
Votes in favour of the proposal, 1,429,981.
Scenes of optimism and jubilation amongst Yes campaigners at count centres this morning.
I said this was a once-in-a-generation vote, but I believe we have voted today for the next generation.
Repealing the 8th Amendment was a triumph for 21st century Ireland. The campaign could not have been so successful without the hordes of creatives and visionaries behind the movement. In this project, I tried to show a snippet of the immense young talent who focused their attention on the Repeal campaign for no self-gain. We hope that this documentary serves as a pillar to look back on the heroes of the Repeal movement.